Welcome back, everyone. You are tuning into another episode of the Applied AI Architects. We are here to break down the absolute madness happening in the tech world. I'm Mahir, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Kapil. Kapil, my friend, what are some of the exciting updates from the world about AI this week?
10, 10, 10.
What's with that cryptic communication? Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's something unprecedented happening. So typically in Bay Area companies, right, which are the high growth companies, all the successful ones have a hockey stick exponential growth. So normally what you see is that companies grow 10x in a first few years. They get up to $1 billion revenue, and then the growth starts to slow down. So it's like 5x, 2x, and then they grew like 10, 20%, like all the very successful companies, all the Meg 7 ones. And with this kind of trajectory, Mahir, you see Meta at 200 billion, Microsoft 300, Alphabet, Amazon 400 billion, Apple at 700 billion. And these are the most successful companies in the world. Okay. And now I wanted to contrast you with what's happening in the AI world. So let's look at Anthropic. Okay. So Anthropic was founded in 21. In Jan 25, they were at $1 billion run rate. So they already had that 10x kind of a milestone. And by most yardsticks of very successful companies in the world, you would have expected them to grow 5x last year. But they did another 10x. So Jan 26, they were at a $10 billion run rate. Okay. And then people say, oh, you know what? Oh, 10x now also at a $10 billion 10x. But maybe this year they will do only 5x. In April, they were already at a $30 billion run rate. And it looks quite likely that they would be at a $100 billion run rate by December of 26. Okay. So it's unprecedented of at $1 billion scale, you get a 10x and then 10x. And what some people are saying that it's not impossible that they might have another 10x in 27, which means $1 trillion revenue. I'm just saying that, what the scale we are talking about. So even if they slow down a lot, it's quite likely they will overpass Meta, which is at 200 billion in 27, which is like unprecedented, right? Like Meta itself is a highly successful companies, exceptional companies, all founded in early 2010s or, in those days. And here this company founded in 2021 and reaching a revenue run rate, which is equivalent to that of Max 7. So it's unbelievable, right? Like, what's sort of happening. So that was my drift about 10, 10, 10.
Wow. So I never looked at it that way. So it means that literally that AI business growth is scaling at another level. And I think we also saw that in Alphabet's earning call, how impactful it is, even as you said, for big companies, big tech. So it means I think the earth is literally shifting right in front of us. The revenue growth, we are seeing the ones that have been shared in the AI sector is, I think, unprecedented. So the companies, most of them like Anthropic you mentioned, are scaling at rates that challenge the historical enterprise software metrics. So that's interesting.
So Anthropic exceeded OpenAI, right? So OpenAI had a 25 billion run rate in April, and Anthropic is 30 billion. So let me ask you a question, Mayer, that with this kind of exponential growth, how is Anthropic handling the demand?
Good question. I think Dario recently mentioned in an interview that they had planned for crazy growth, but I think this is also exceeding that bit. The obvious issue is that they are short on compute. That's, I think, the reality. Anthropic's paid users have been feeling the challenges or maybe the effects of it with that high growth and demand. So in that context, there were two huge announcements, I think, which came in parallel. First one, Anthropic announced a massive compute deal with Google, which was very significant on its own. And the next came, I think, just after that, Anthropic got Elon Musk to commit the entire Colossus One data center which has roughly more than 200,000 GPUs for compute power.
Whoa, so that's interesting. Why would Elon give compute capacity to Anthropic? Aren't they competitors?
It seems interesting, isn't it? Elon proactively invested in building massive compute capacity. And now it is also an interesting, I think, pivot in terms of the business strategy, leasing out compute capacity that I think suggests a highly strategic evaluation of the return on investment of those, I think, discussions and plans. I think that's in training frontier models or monetizing the infrastructure. So both of them have been, I think, discussed. But Musk, I think, also tweeted that XAI might be dissolved, and no one is quite sure what the strategy would be. But I think with all those things, there are two possible paths or scenarios. Either XAI continues to invest in building frontier models, or the other path, which was discussed, to integrate XAI deeply with SpaceX and Tesla for domain-specific AI capabilities. But I think they are two interesting strategies which are going hand in hand, and yeah, we'll see what future brings.
Nice. So one other update I wanted to share is OpenAI's GPT 5.5 model, right? So OpenAI has been a little bit missing in the action, right? Last few months, Anthropic and Google with Gemini Pro models. So GPT 5.5 is getting really rave reviews, and looks like finally OpenAI has a winner on its hand. The juiciest part, there's an interesting one, that till now we have seen the compute cost going down, cost per token. Every subsequent models, the prices are the same for the better intelligence, and they have been dropping in price. But with launch of 5.5, the token prices it's 2x of compared to 5.4. All right. So we'll discuss the implications of these increased token prices in our next video. How about that, Maher?
Brilliant. I'd like to hear more about it.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Look forward to catching up again in the next one. Thank you so much. Thanks, Maher.
Thank you, Kapil.